How can you make more money? You can become highly attractive to money. You can draw it to you. You can magnetize it to you. You can flirt with it, play with it, engage with it, like draw it in. That's one way. And I'm going to talk about how you can do that. So actually, in every aspect of your life, you should have free-flowing creative energy, engaging, moving out, dancing with it. It can come out in any way. It can come out in arts. It can be expressed in business. It can be expressed when you're exercising. It can be expressed when you're playing with your animals. The creative energy is the most powerful manifesting energy that we have, and it comes from us. Now, this energy, when it's free flowing and it's just moving up and moving out, can be the most attractive energy. And you don't have to be doing anything. In fact, the most appealing energy that I have ever seen has been from a meditating monk sitting under a tree doing nothing. It was this young boy. It was on a video. He's just sitting there, eyes closed, completely still, meditating. He had the most delicious energy. And it was that creative, massive creative energy flowing up and through him. And that was highly attractive. Nature, highly attractive. There's so much creative energy flowing, constantly flowing in nature, and it's highly attractive. We're magnetized to it. You know, you can meet someone and you feel like, oh, I just want to be around them. I just want to, you know, talk to them, engage with them. I don't even know why. Normally, it's because they have this creative energy flowing, constantly flowing in the right direction. Now, people can be highly sexual and have a lot of creative energy, but they're letting it drain out or they're wasting it. And they might seem attractive, but they could also seem like a drain, you know, when you start engaging with them. And that can be sometimes confusing. I've had that experience. Other times, you know, you'll meet someone and maybe they're using it in a very creative way in business, and you'll find yourself wanting to do business with them, wanting to give them money. So it's, how do you become attractive and magnetize money? You use this creative energy and you engage in activities that bring more of that out, that you ultimately want to feel like everything that you're doing in life, you're making love with everything in life. And the thing about this magnetism and this creative energy is that it really causes you to be very, very present. And presence is very attractive, extremely attractive. And so the more that you can cultivate this energy and move it consciously, the more that you're going to stoke that fire, and the more that's going to be your normal way and your normal level of energy. So the other thing is that you want to make sure that you are doing things that bring out that creative energy in you and that make you feel more alive and that bring out your joy. And so if you're really excited about something, an opportunity, a person, a trip, whatever it is, if you're really excited about it and you're fully into it, you'll notice how present you become in that activity or in that interaction. And that's part of that creative energy and using it in the way that it's meant to. And whenever you're fully present in anything that you're doing in life, the more that creative energy can just flow without being blocked. When we're trying to force things that we don't really want to do, or we feel obligated to do things, that energy goes down and it gets squashed, or it gets like a roadblock, you know, to where it can't flow. So you know, you've had those times where you feel like, oh, I could just do this all day. And you'll sometimes feel like time has just stopped because you're so present, that you're so in that moment that the moment seems to expand into eternity. You know, you can also have the experience that when you're so in the creative flow, that time goes faster. So you'll notice, you know, there's a fluctuation with that. And so two things: you want to be able to play with your energy. Of that sexual energy is it may start with a desire or a feeling of arousal. Now you can take that energy and you can move it up into your whole being. You can move it out into creative activities, out into exercise. And so you want to start playing with that energy and know that it's energy to be used in all of life, not just in the act of sex. In fact, it's a waste of your life force, I should say. That doesn't mean that it's bad. It's not bad. It's amazing. But when you're consciously working with that energy, you can get more out of it than you just would by using it in just the act and releasing it down. So, you know, you can start channeling this energy into creative art projects, into your work, into creative ideas, into brainstorming, into relationships with people. And you know, you do that by getting really present, by noticing when you do have that arousal, and then have the intention to move it up and to out into engagements with people or whatever you're doing. um, and you'll notice that you'll start feeling younger, you'll start feeling more alive, more awakened, more present. And it's an amazingly satisfying experience. So, and then the other thing that you can do is to lean in to the activities that you're excited about. Lean in to what is making you feel more alive. Conversations that you have with certain people that are making you feel more alive, lean into those. Conversations that you're feeling drained by, lean away from those, back away. You know, lean into something else instead. It's not about making something right and something else wrong. It's about noticing what your energy does in certain scenarios. If you're in a work situation and you're feeling like you're working on this one project that's really just taking your life force down, then one of two things: you can back away from that for now, come back to it later, or you can find a more creative way to work on this. Maybe there's an idea that hasn't sparked that's going to really ignite your inspiration and your life force energy. Or maybe, you know, you just need to take a break, or maybe you need to scrap the whole project and start over from an inspired space, of a space that's really getting that creative energy flowing again. So it's about being aware of what that energy is doing in everything that you do. And when you've gotten to a place where you feel like you are literally making love with all of life, then you're going to be living in a constant state of joy. And it's that follow your bliss state that happens naturally. And so it's not always about, oh, I need to do this, but not that. Sometimes it's about, I need to do this with flowing creative energy. So can I work with that energy inside of this scenario that has felt kind of deadening before? And it's really about being more present and opening up to different ways of letting that creative energy flow. So I think that a lot of times we get stuck because we have only used that energy in certain ways, and we haven't known how to use it in more ways. And we definitely haven't known how to use it to be attractive to money and clients and business coming to us. And so I think that sometimes this is the missing key, where we feel like, what is it that I'm not getting? Why do I not have just massive clients coming to me right now. Why? Sometimes it's because we have this block in our creative energy flow. And sometimes it's because we're not really fully getting present and bringing that what I call erotic energy into our interactions and into our work. Like as we talk about it, you can feel more aliveness and more juiciness in it. And so that energy is what you want to bring into everything that you do. I've heard people say that in modeling, and in acting school, you hear make love to the camera, and it comes out, that transmits out. So it's that, but it's in all of your life. I just watched a David Wilcock webinar, and he was talking about how people are able to move objects with their mind. And he said what it came down to after all the testing and the scientific tests that they did on people, the psychics that they were working with, they were training them to move these objects with their mind and working with people that had that natural talent. And so they were looking at, the people that were able to move the objects, and then the people that weren't. And so what was it? What was that key that helped them move those objects with their mind? And what it came down to was that orgasmic energy. So they would look at an object and they would build that energy inside of them into that erotic arousal and that orgasmic energy, and they would use it with the intention to move that object. And when they got that energy flowing with the intention to move it, it would move. And so this is exactly what you can do with creation, with wanting to manifest. And then you can be looking at that goal that you have, that number of clients, that money that you want to bring in, that exact number. Work with that orgasmic, that erotic, that creative energy. It's nothing to do with sex. In fact, you don't want to, any visuals, any ways that you've engaged with that energy in the past, like just throw that out. If you want to use it to be attractive in business and money, then you want to just use that raw energy and that sensation of that arousal and that energy moving up and move it up and move it up and move it up and out. And you want to channel it. So you want to channel it into what you're wanting to create. You want to channel it into your exercise, into your jogging, into your cooking, into everything you're doing. And I just thought about that. There's a movie like Water for Chocolate. It's an older movie, and this woman, she bakes and she cooks, and whatever she's feeling when she's doing it, when the people eat that food, if she was sad, they'll start crying because that's gone into the food. If she was, at one point she was feeling very desirous, she was feeling all this desire, all this sexual desire. And so they had a dinner party, and as everyone was eating it, they started getting aroused and, being very attracted to everybody else. And so, it's like that energy can move into, and that's exactly it. That movie, that energy can move out and draw that money in. And, it's a beautiful way to interact with life, even if you're not getting anything back, because just that feeling so alive and engaged and activated, you're just going to be in a state of joy and a state of creation. You're just going to feel like you are a vital part of creation, instead of feeling, oh, I got to do this thing today I don't want to do, and I'm living this life I don't really want to live, how to get here. You can just feel that, even as right now I'm talking about it. Such a different level, such a different feeling. such a different vibration to come from. And so I challenge you to get in that state and stay in that state in everything that you're doing. And whenever you notice that you're focusing on what's not going right, what you don't like, what's made you mad, what's not working, like, I challenge you to stop right there and go, how can I bring that making love into this moment right here? How can I bring that back? And it's really much easier than you would think, because it's actually our natural way of being and our natural way of moving in the world. So that's your challenge. Catch it as often as you can and work with it, play with it. Let it be fun, let it be a game, and let it change your life. I would love to hear your stories about what's happened, how it's working for you. And if you're new here, click subscribe, and let's just keep this conversation going.